What is happening, Shady Spotlight viewers? Get ready for a rapid-fire rundown of the stories that are shaking things up across the globe. We've got controversy brewing in the entertainment world, a major sporting event facing unexpected heat, and a prominent radio personality jumping into the fray with some seriously bold opinions. You absolutely do not want to miss these updates. The news cycle never sleeps, and neither do we. Stick around because we're diving deep into the moments that everyone's talking about, right after this. First up, a legendary artist is under fire for comments made about LGBTQ plus themes in children's films. We're talking about a beloved icon whose words have sparked a massive debate and are now echoing all the way to a major sporting event down under. What did he say, and why is it causing such a stir? Then, we're heading to Australia where the heat is really on. A prominent senator is calling for drastic action, demanding that this same artist be removed from a massive national sporting final. We'll break down the political pressure, the cultural clash, and what this could mean for the event itself. But the conversation doesn't stop there. We've got a shock jock radio host weighing in, and his take on the situation is anything but ordinary. He's clashing with his co-stars and dropping some truly wild opinions about the controversy, the artist, and even the nature of sportsmanship itself. You'll want to hear this one. And finally, we circle back to the source of the initial firestorm, digging deeper into the artist's specific remarks about children's movies and representation. What exactly did he say that has everyone talking? We've got all the details you need to understand the full scope of this unfolding story. Don't go anywhere. This is Shady Spotlight, and we're about to break it all down. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe for more unfiltered updates, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a moment. A hip-hop legend faces criticism for film remarks. This story is making waves as a globally recognized music icon finds himself at the center of a heated debate regarding his views on LGBTQ+ representation in children's entertainment. The artist, known for his prolific career and distinctive style, recently shared his thoughts during an appearance on the It's Giving podcast, expressing surprise and discomfort with the inclusion of same-sex themes in family-friendly movies. During the podcast, the artist recounted an experience where he took his grandson to see Disney's 2022 animated film Lightyear. He described how his grandson, upon witnessing a scene depicting a same-sex couple raising a child, questioned the depiction, asking, "Papa Snoop, how she have a baby with a woman? She's a woman." The artist admitted that these moments leave him feeling unprepared, stating, "I'm scared to go to the movies. Y'all throwing me in the middle of S that I don't have an answer for." He elaborated on his feelings, noting that the pervasive nature of such themes in media aimed at young audiences caught him off guard. "What you see is what you see, and they're putting it everywhere," he remarked. "I didn't come in for this S***. I just came to watch the goddamn movie." His comments, particularly the phrase, "these are kids," and the implication that such topics are inappropriate for young audiences at that age, have ignited significant backlash. Critics argue that his statements are homophobic and that he is promoting harmful views by suggesting that LGBTQ+ representation is something children should be shielded from. The controversy has extended beyond the digital realm, reaching international shores and impacting his scheduled appearances. In Australia, where the artist is slated to perform at the Australian Football League, AFL Grand Final, calls for his performance to be cancelled are mounting. This backlash is amplified by the AFL's recent decision to sanction one of its players, Isaac Rankine, for using a homophobic slur during a game. Critics point to this discrepancy, with Australian Shadow Immigration Minister Paul Scar commenting, "If you're going to set certain standards, then people are going to raise questions if you deviate those standards on a case-by-case basis." The situation highlights a broader societal conversation about inclusivity, parental guidance, and the role of media in shaping perceptions, with the artist's comments placing him squarely in the crosshairs of this ongoing dialogue. The artist himself has not yet issued a public response to the growing controversy surrounding his remarks. But this isn't the only major development concerning this artist's upcoming international appearance. Stay tuned as we break down the political fallout and the calls for his removal from a massive sporting event. Senator demands artist's removal from major sporting event. In an unprecedented move, a prominent Australian senator has publicly called for the removal of a world-famous hip-hop artist from the highly anticipated AFL Grand Final, citing concerns over the artist's recent controversial remarks and past behavior. The senator, Sarah Hanson-Young, used her platform in the Senate and her social media to voice strong opposition to the artist's booking for the prestigious pre-game entertainment. Snoop Dogg, as he is widely known, was confirmed last month as the headline act for the AFL Final, scheduled to take place on September 27th at the iconic Melbourne Cricket Ground. The Australian Football League had heralded the booking as a major coup, with CEO Andrew Dillon praising the artist as a pioneer, a performer, and a true entertainer who would contribute to an unforgettable celebration of footy. This follows a tradition of securing major international stars for the event, including names like Ed Sheeran and Sting. However, Senator Hanson-Young has strongly condemned the decision. She branded the artist a slur merchant and questioned the AFL's decision to allocate significant funds, reportedly $2 million, to an international act when, in her view, Australia has a wealth of local talent that could be supported. The AFL has decided, rather than putting on an Australian artist, they're gonna pay $2 million to play at the Grand Final, she stated, emphasizing her support for the nation's music community. She argued that cultural institutions should back Australia's musicians and creative arts community. The senator drew a stark parallel between the artist's booking and the recent suspension of Adelaide Crows forward Isaac Rankine, who received a 4-week ban for using a homophobic slur on the field. The irony is not lost on many of us that while Isaac Rankine gets dumped, Snoop Dogg gets $2 million to play his misogynistic, homophobic music on our turf, Hanson-Young declared. While not referencing specific lyrics, her comments clearly align with the artist's recent podcast remarks, where he expressed discomfort with explaining same-sex relationships depicted in children's films to his grandson. Hanson-Young highlighted the struggles of Australian artists to gain visibility, referencing the weekly ARIA charts, and urged the AFL to have the guts to rethink this decision and prioritize supporting local talent for an Aussie game. This is not the first time the artist has faced scrutiny internationally. In 2006, he was arrested in London following an airport incident, leading to a 4-year ban from the UK. He was also removed from a festival lineup in the Netherlands in 2006 due to concerns about his public image, and in 2001, he released an adult film titled Doggystyle. Despite these past incidents, AFL CEO Andrew Dillon defended the booking, stating the league engaged the artist as the person he is today, acknowledging his past but emphasizing his current role as a grandfather, philanthropist, and performer who has appeared at events like the Super Bowl and the Olympic closing ceremony. While political figures are calling for his removal, others in the media are offering a surprisingly different perspective on the entire situation. Up next, we dive into the controversial take from a popular radio host who is openly clashing with his colleagues over this very controversy. Radio host defends artist amidst controversy, sparks co-host debate. A high-profile Australian radio personality, Kyle Sandilands, has ignited a firestorm of debate with his co-hosts on the KIIS-FM Kyle and Jackie O show. By offering a surprisingly robust defense of the controversial artist slated to perform at the AFL Grand Final, while also sharing his candid thoughts on on-field conduct. Sandilands addressed the ongoing drama surrounding Snoop Dogg's upcoming performance, a booking that has deeply divided public opinion in Australia. While some critics argue the AFL is compromising its values by hiring the artist, especially in light of his recent comments on LGBTQ plus themes in children's films and the AFL's own disciplinary actions against players for homophobic slurs, Sandilands expressed a starkly different view. He began by questioning the outrage, stating, "All these AFLs are all a bunch of asterisk. He appeared dismissive of the sensitivity surrounding certain language, suggesting that when players use slurs like the F word or call someone gay, the AFL's response is overly punitive. Referring to Snoop Dogg's controversial podcast remarks, Sandilands argued that the AFL should have been aware of the artist's public persona and history when making the booking. Now someone has said Snoop Dogg has used this gay slur, he noted. Yeah, Snoop's written about pimping out women like W************************************************************ taking drugs, gangbangs, you knew who you were hiring. He further commented on reports that Snoop Dogg might be axed from the show, calling it the biggest loser thing that can happen. He emphasized his belief that in the context of sports, especially a grand final, a certain level of aggressive banter is to be expected and accepted. Sandilands took his stance a step further, asserting, "As far as I'm concerned, you can call anyone anything you want when you're against them, whether it's in real life or in sport. Get over it, you idiot." This sentiment directly contrasted with the views of his co-hosts, Jackie O. Henderson and newsreader Brooklyn Ross. While they agreed that Snoop Dogg should not be canceled, and acknowledged that public opinion often shifts when scrutiny intensifies, they stopped short of endorsing Sandilands' laissez-faire attitude towards on-field language. Henderson commented, "In terms of canceling him, no, I don't believe so. No one's had a problem with Snoop Dogg before." But she also conceded that offensive comments can hurt people, particularly in the context of slurs. Ross echoed this, stating, "It's something that we should aim to get rid of. If it was the N-word, is that allowed?" Henderson added, "But it's a slur that hurts people." Sandilands, however, remained firm, drawing a parallel to personal insults he might receive, like being called fat, suggesting that such comments have no repercussions. He reiterated his core argument, "I'm just saying, who cares? Why should Snoop have to be banned? It's a joke." He maintained that on-field sledging stems from competitiveness rather than malice, suggesting that the intensity of a major sporting event like a grand final justifies a more relaxed approach to the language used. While the debate rages on about public figures and their past statements, we're going back to the original source of this particular controversy. Next, we'll revisit the specific comments made by Snoop Dogg that sparked this entire global conversation, giving you the full picture. Artist expresses discomfort with LGBTQ plus themes in children's films. In a recent podcast discussion, the renowned hip-hop artist Snoop Dogg shared his candid feelings about the increasing presence of LGBTQ plus themes in children's movies, admitting that such content leaves him feeling unprepared and somewhat unsettled when attending screenings with younger family members. During his appearance on the It's Giving podcast, the artist recounted a specific instance where he took his grandson to see Disney's 2022 animated film Lightyear. The movie features a brief scene depicting a same-sex couple, which prompted a direct question from his grandson. "Well, my grandson in the middle of the movie is like, 'Papa Snoop, how she have a baby with a woman? She's a woman,'" the artist recalled. This moment, he explained, caught him off guard, leading to a feeling of apprehension about attending movies with his grandson. He elaborated on this sentiment, expressing a sense of being overwhelmed by what he perceives as the pervasive nature of these themes in media aimed at children. "I'm scared to go to the movies. Y'all throwing me in the middle of S that I don't have an answer for," he stated. He further articulated his view that the introduction of such topics at a young age might not be ideal, adding, "These are kids. We have to show that at this age. They're going to ask questions. I don't have the answer." His remarks have been interpreted by many as a criticism of LGBTQ+ representation in children's media, sparking widespread debate and significant backlash. Critics have accused the artist of promoting intolerance and suggesting that children should be shielded from diverse family structures and identities. The comments have resonated globally, influencing discussions about parental guidance, media responsibility, and the importance of inclusive storytelling for young audiences. While the artist's specific comments have generated considerable controversy, it's important to note that he has not issued a public statement addressing the backlash directly. The situation highlights the ongoing societal dialogue surrounding representation in media and the varying perspectives on how and when certain topics should be introduced to children. This story has certainly stirred up a lot of conversation, leading to significant reactions from various public figures. Next up, we'll recap all the major developments from this week's top stories in a rapid-fire round. And that's a wrap on today's explosive news cycle. We saw Snoop Dogg draw fire for comments on kids' films, a senator demanding his removal from the AFL final, a radio host clashing with colleagues over the controversy, and a deeper look at the artist's original remarks. Don't miss out on any of the action. Hit that like button. Subscribe to Shady Spotlight for all the unfiltered truth. Ring that notification bell so you're always in the loop. Drop a comment below with your thoughts, and make sure to follow us on all social media platforms for even more exclusive content.